Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know I'm kind of settled in now into the new work where I'm actually doing the work. So basically, like my first week, no, my second week into the work, and I'm at the recording of this episode. And I'm not really going to do that week after week experience thing, no, that I did with the last one because basically I don't really need to do that. Yeah, just right now is that what I realize is that with new work and with each new upgrade of work or change of work, it requires new things, new changes. But what you realize is that like what I said is that you can compound from the previous job into a new job or compound opportunities. I got the first work and I used that opportunity to make a lot of progress. And then unfortunately what happened in the last latter part of my work tenure at that work, caused me to actually just say, okay, I'm just going to stop now. But even though I start working there, I did not wait. I compound the fact that I had experience into this new work, and that helped me to actually get a job at a better place, a place, better place for me in terms of building my reputation. If I can secure my spot there, and start building my reputation as someone credible. But with the new work comes changes. At this job, the last job was more. I think the word is um, it was more sitting down. The last job was more sitting down. So I'm just gonna look for the word. I think it's seren. I'm just gonna give me a moment. Seri. I'm not going to look for the word, but basically, the last word was more sitting down and talking. That's what they're doing all day. This job now is more lifting, and do, doing all kind of stuff. So right now I'm basically doing lifting, but the job can go way more. And the thing about it, this job is way more complex than the last work. So that's one of the things where you compound yourself into a better job. But this better job is going to require you more. This job is more risk averse. Not risk averse only for you, but for other people involved. It's like this is a job I don't you don't slack. And the thing about it is that the good thing is that they're with this new the good thing for the company that I realize, and the bad thing for not really not bad thing for me, but one thing I get from the company is that you don't they don't give you this room for mistake. It's a well established company, so there's a lot of checks and balances in place to ensure that the work goes correct. The work goes correctly. So it's a more risk averse thing. So there are a lot more checks involved in making sure that this goes smoothly. Your safety is involved and the safety of the customer is involved as well. It's a lot more checks. And so it's like it's very highly unlikely that something bad will go wrong. Because even for someone new like me, it's like they are they even if it's similar just like the last job we go on the job training. I'm basically going through that phase, but they don't know work that I'm doing. I'm not supervised. It's more this work is more autonomous, but I'm still being supervised to ensure that okay, I'm following the right protocol. This job is more protocol driven. That's the thing. Say a compound doing your work. The next thing is this kind of job. I think so far is actually less paid than the other one, but it's more credible than the other one in a certain sense. More credible for me if I can actually secure a spot. But the thing about it is that your the job is like you want a better job, but don't understand that you want your dream job. Say for example, I want my dream science job or stuff like that. Not realizing that when I manifest that work, this is going to be something higher than this in the sense that, or at least this type of level where there's a lot of security protocols check to ensure that I'm doing all the things right. They can't just or be out here flippy flop and all those stuff. So this is actually a good test for me. And securing this work will actually compound me more. It's actually a lot, as it is a lot more physical. So I'm actually coming home very more tired and less likely to actually accomplish more home tasks. I'm I'm actually accomplishing less home tasks because by the time I'm coming home, I'm tired. And if you listen to one of my episodes, Too Tired to Eat, that's basically me most of the time. I'm basically too tired to eat most of the time. So I just eat something and just go to sleep. So it's like, this is, I'm grateful for this opportunity because this is actually a very exciting work. This is actually exciting work for me. And then one of the reasons why it's exciting because, so if you realize, if you listen to the episode, I told you that I actually got my driver's license. In this work, you you do have the opportunity to actually drive not a car but cart and stuff like that. I barely have any driving experience from my got the license, but I had the fundamentals. I have the fundamentals. So it's like, bro, if I actually pass through this phase, pass the test, and then gone through that thing, I'll be able to drive the cart, and get, doing that will basically make the work 10 times nicer, 10 times nicer. Where it's like, even if I don't pass it on the first try, eventually what will happen is that I can actually start practicing how to drive again and stuff. But but this new job, I said, it allows me to compound all the skills that I've built up before into something better. So the driver's license and the fact that now I'm doing something more physical, and as I said, I'm actually way bigger than I was. So we my weight is basically at this point around 195 due to the fact that I actually started working. But doing this job now would actually save me gym money. Some money that I will actually spend going to the gym. I don't have to spend that anymore because this job now just basically I'm lifting so much heavy stuff. I'm just basically losing weight every day. Every day. Well, most days. So that actually save me money that actually I can use elsewhere. So it does compound interest. So that's asset. Um, it it is actually something. It's actually something. But I'm actually excited for this new work, and I don't want to actually give you the information as to where it is, but it's actually very cool, bro. It's very cool, very cool. Very excited and be like, yo. Hmm. And the thing about it is that I would not have actually applied for something. I actually applied for work here before. So if you actually listen to some of my early episodes, we talk about my hard times getting a job. Actually applied for one of these places already in the past, and I didn't get it. But that was when I was actually, so it was when I was going to university, and after I left university, I'm looking for a job. So it's just one of those things where you realize that you know, com- it's hard to actually get through the door. And going through the experience of getting those two work, I realized that even when I get through the door, it's actually really, really hard in the sense that the training and stuff, because I have to do tests as well in this work to try to get the work. So it's not easy to actually get through the door. But once you actually get through one door, you can basically compound it to other doors as well. But the, the good thing about the podcast is that I actually went through this hard phase through to say that if you're starting, you more likely will start faster than me because it was hard to actually get through that door. But now I'm seeing so many people going through that door and be like, oh my god, bro. So many people that is going through that door and be like, I'm just out here just trying to secure my spot because this one is actually a way bigger company. So it's like you would be surprised if I basically lose it for whatever reason because this is actually a very big company, and it's I'm working for one company, but it's actually a part of a larger company, and and this company that I'm working for is actually large. So it's just one of those things where be like, it, it's it's actually hard. Actually, the higher you go, it's harder to secure your spot. Once you secure your spot, you know you can basically component it into a lot more things. Like if I secure the spot, I can basically upgrade maybe to a less physical demanding job. But I actually just wanted to do this job because of the flexibility of this work that I see so far make me say, I actually do this work and make the most of it. And what happens is that given my situation now, it's actually a good work for me. If I actually get this is one of the other works as well. If I get this job when I just left university, I would not be able to do it. I wouldn't because but then when I just left university, I was basically like 145 pounds. I could not lift those stuff forever. So it does one of those work where I could not. It's not the fact that I even if I get it, I could not do the work. But now actually can do the work. So and it's more opportune to me now, given this new vision. So I'm going to make the most of it. Yeah. So that's one of those things where like I guess basically the basic essence for this episode is that your dream job gonna take a lot of work because this is not my ideal job as well. It's a better upgrade, but it's actually more demanding. Like it's a more risk averse. So that's one thing where your dream job, more likely your dream job is very risk averse. Very not very risky, I should say. Very risky in the sense that you're basically responsible for the safety of a lot of people's lives, like for example, doctor or so. So it's like you have when you actually manifest your dream job, there's like a protocol that goes into basically doing your stuff. And you have to actually follow those protocols to secure your spot. So that's the thing. Getting the job is one thing, but maintaining it, that's the other part. Yeah. So that's basically what I'm gonna try to do now, just maintain it. There's still a lot of things that I can learn from it that I could implement eventually when I start my own company. Uh, yeah. That's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Oh yeah, one of the things else that I should mention is that with this new work, I'm doing a lot of lifting, and one of the things that I going through the training, one of the things was that they taught us about lifting, the proper way to lift things and such, and doing the work. I realized that yes, doing those proper well thing is that when you're doing the work, doing a work or going through the training, you should actually take good heed to the safety protocols or the safety training that they actually teach you, because there's a reason why. And for example, a work like this, when you're doing a lot of lifting, you can experience back pain, backache, and all those stuff. Like there's people work like the safety gear and stuff like that. And my first day, my safety gear includes a safety shoes, and like after a few days, the shoes actually was basically doing some damage. Like I saw some swelling on my toe, but it actually went away. But it was basically due to the fact that I think me getting used to this new shoes. This shoes is actually built for the work, and it was actually kind of tight on my foot, so it was basically taking time to adjust, and it actually squeezed me to the point that there was a swelling. But not only that, first day on the work, basically, on the other job training, I basically got on the job, and the first thing they just told me to do was get up and just start basically lift some stuff until the work is on an aircraft, and it's like that's why it's kind of exciting. Basically, it was on an aircraft, and it's like I was basically doing the work and lifting them on the aircraft, and it was going well up until in the end, I basically got muscle contract, or my both legs was basically my both of my legs started to cramp, and it was because I couldn't my feet was not in the proper position. And what happened was that the person that I was lifting the bag and sending it to, I saw him in the proper doing the proper feet position, proper feet position. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I actually did that. But the thing about it is that because of how my height was, I could not actually get that proper feet position correct. And it was, I said, the hurt was real. But eventually, shortly after that, they told me to come off because the next thing that we're going to lift did not require so many people on the aircraft, and the plane was actually getting full. So that's one of those things where I'd be like, yo, it's actually the safety precaution is actually important. So from then I actually never did any more of the plane stuff. I'm actually just doing basic stuff, lifting now. And what was happening like the first few days, my body would hurt a lot, but I'm actually getting used to it because I'm basically getting experience. I'm actually experiencing, understanding how to actually lift more effectively. I'm getting stronger in the sense that each day I'm doing it, I'm losing weight, but I'm actually getting stronger because I'm doing it and packing and all those stuff. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, actually getting used to this work, and doing it the right way is ideally should slightly um prevent me from getting that back injury. But it won't it's not going to not prevent it because I can get slack. But it can just it does one of those things where I learned that you have to actually do the safety precaution, because if you do not take the safety precaution seriously, because if you do not do it correctly, then you will get in serious pain. Serious pain. And for example, for me, who not secure my spot and did not unlock thing like 6 days. And my backer is basically those are unpaid hours. So it's just one of those things there. You have to actually actually take care for yourself for yourself. And the next thing is I said this job is more risky but it's not like they leave you unattended. They give you all the tools to actually do this job successfully. And if you basically do it, it's like one of those things where you reach a new level, you should be able. Sometimes you have to just take the risk and just try to reach maintain that new level, because what happens is that when you actually go through and get used to this new level, you become more risk averse. You become more risk averse, more experienced, and be like, okay, yes, and you understand you understand how to deal with smaller risk compared to that risk easier, because you're dealing with much more higher risk. So that's basically one of the benefits of actually going up another level, is that you basically becoming more risk tolerant to smaller risk, or risk that would usually affect you at a usual level. So that's one of those next things where one of the things where I actually take this job, it is more riskier to me, where it gave the first day I really had a lot of anxiety. But I have to actually push through it, because yeah, if you want to reach the top, you have to go and face your fears. I have to actually go there and face my fears. And yeah, if I actually get used to this phase, then this is just a next level. Next level for me. Like if I actually get through and get comfortable in this space, then eventually when I start driving, that would basically be risk averse, risk tolerant as well. Because yeah, so that's basically you have to really look at it. Each level, i- from primary school to high school to university, a new level of risk, and then in the real world, new level of risk. Be- Getting your driver's license, new level of risk. Becoming a homeowner, new level of risk, and everything is a new level of risk. But if you actually go through that phase and then get comfortable, then you can basically tolerate, you understand prepare, you plan and prepare, do this proper precautions. Then you basically, when you reach that level now, when actually take on that level, it's not as scary as you as it's advertised. Because it is, when they were going through training, there was a lot of scary things. And it's not like that those scary things can't happen. It's just that, okay, you're you're taught those safety stuff to say that, you're not you should not do this stuff, just to save you from actually going through those things that those other experience taught us, that we learned from. And next thing is, the next thing that gives you a security, is that you see people there that is older than you, that has been there, so they actually have experience to say, okay, yeah, you know, they've actually gone through those phases, and many of them said, yeah, none of those scary stuff never happened to them, because what, they follow the precautions. So that's one of those things where it's good to have elder person around you, but eventually you will become that elder person guiding someone else, and if you do not take the safety precaution now, when that new person come on and look up to you, you just basically pass on their bad habits, and then boom, they become the new lesson that other trainers know. So it's a as a new level of responsibility. You have to actually just, it's the safeties, and they say this in the training as well. The safety is not only for you, but it's for everybody around you, everybody else around you. That's what the safety is for. So it's like, I'm excited for this new job, and yo, yeah, yeah. So that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for our next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.